Hello, everybody. My name is Bluebook1928, and let me start off by saying that as a kid, one of the cartoons I grew up watching was SpongeBob SquarePants. I've watched it a lot on Nicktoons, and it was one of the most amazing cartoons ever made. Seasons 1 to 3 was the golden age. Seasons 4 to 5 were decent, but then starting with season 6, things have went downhill. The show went downhill and wouldn't recover until after the second movie, when Steven Hillenburg returned to the show. But after Hillenburg died, things have went downhill again, and they're still rehashing episodes they've done before, ju- and take away all the elements of what made them good and enjoyable. That's what they've been doing since season 4. Plus, they also rehashed episodes they'd done before with the fourth movie, Search for SquarePants. Really terrible movie, in my opinion. But I'm not here to talk about that movie. No, 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 no. I'm here to talk about an episode that aired last year, SpongeBob and Patrick's Timeline Twist Up. Plus, it stars the cast of the Patrick Star Show, specifically Patrick Star's family. In this episode, Grandpa Star needs a toilet real bad, but instead of going to the toilet, he goes to the time machine. The time machine moves like crazy and gets Patrick Star's family to the past. Gets the rest of Patrick Star family to the past. And then SpongeBob and Patrick are there. They stop the door by telling a joke, which is this: when is a door not a door? When it's ajar. And instead of fixing the past, they're just sitting on the couch watching the time machine. And on the time machine, while they're watching the time machine, Squid Dina is in rock bottom. Yeah, that episode from season 1. SpongeBob and Patrick get on the bus instead of just Patrick, and the bus leaves Squidina, who just films stuff and hangs out with the kids just to mess around. But even though SpongeBob and Patrick didn't do anything, it's still fixed just because SpongeBob and Patrick got Squidina back to the present. Meanwhile, Patrick's dad is in Goo Lagoon. Yes, now we're on the ripped pants part, that another episode from season 1, and of course messes things up. But instead of SpongeBob ripping off his pants a lot of times, Patrick's dad's the one who rips his pants a lot of times. He does it a lot of times, and he owns a company, and now he made a company called Ripped Pants Inc. Only for people to get ticked at him because they're freezing, and because Patrick Star's dad convinced them to rip their pants. Then SpongeBob and Patrick showed up there just to get Patrick's dad back, and of course things get fixed. Even though SpongeBob and Patrick didn't do anything, even though they didn't stop him from messing up the past. Yeah, this is gonna be a pattern. And now we're on the Neptune Spatula part, another episode from season 1. And Patrick's mom is there. But instead of SpongeBob taking out the golden spatula, Patrick's mom takes it out. Then Neptune shows up, and usually in the episode, SpongeBob goes with Neptune to do a challenge, but no, he told Neptune that Patrick's mom's the one who took the spatula out. So Neptune takes her. Patrick's mom cooks stuff. Neptune doesn't like them, but he gives Patrick's mom his trident anyway. And Patrick's mom just stops horrible things from happening with the trident. In other words, saving Bikini Bottom. Neptune saw what happened on the news, and does a challenge with Patrick's mom. But instead of a challenge of who can make the best burgers, the challenge is to stop the Kraken. Then SpongeBob and Patrick show up to take Patrick's mom back. Again, even though they didn't do anything to stop her from messing up the past. Yeah, like I said, it's gonna be a pattern. Oh, and that challenge is to stop the Kraken, which didn't happen. Because SpongeBob and Patrick took Patrick's mom back. And now for the last part. I mean, Grandpat isn't help wanted. And before SpongeBob could get the job in the Krusty Krab could get the fry cook job in the Krusty Krab, Grandpat beats him to it. Anchovies show up. Grandpat doesn't do a thing about it. Plankton shows up and tricks him into giving him the Krabby Patty, only for Grandpat to take it back and ruled Bikini Bottom. SpongeBob and Patrick, of course, show up, and only for Grandpat to lock them up, messing up the present, and the present got messed up. Fortunately, Squidina managed to rewind the past, just so SpongeBob can go back there, gets the hydrodynamic spatula from the shop, and gives it to his classic counterpart. Now, you're expecting for them to, interact, have a lot of time to interact, right? No, it's only for a short time. Just so, because SpongeBob is focused on fixing the present, of course. Meanwhile, classic SpongeBob makes the Krabby Patties for the hungry anchovies, and the present is fixed. Plus, that was the only past part SpongeBob and Patrick fixed. Actually, the present is not quite fixed, because they forgot to fix the past with Squidward's grandma, because they forgot to fix the past where Squidward's grandma is in, the place where she's in. And now Squidward's grandma's the ruler, because they forgot to fix the time she messed up. And that's the episode. Now, in my opinion, this is not a good episode. This does the whole revisiting the past thing the wrong way, because the writers of this episode had to shove in Patrick Star's family just to mess up the past, and just so SpongeBob and Patrick can fix it. That's not how you do a revisiting the past episode right. So overall, one of the most terrible episodes from season 16. It could have been better if it was just SpongeBob and Patrick revisiting the past, not shoving in Patrick's family to the past just to mess things up. Just a wasted opportunity, in my opinion. Not only, and plus, it wasn't enough that season 6 ruined the show. Now they had to do an episode where they ruined the past. Congratulations, writers and crew. The only positives I can say about this episode is that during the past parts, they managed to recreate the season 1 style animation. I'm not gonna lie, that's really good. Especially that recreation of the scene where SpongeBob leaves his home and says his help wanted lines while looking at the Krusty Krab. But that's not saying much. The last Wonderful World of Mickey Mouse short, Steamboat Silly, as well as the Transdimensional Turtles episode from the 2012 Ninja Turtles series, and the Spider-Man No Way Home movie did the whole revisiting the past thing better than that garbage. In fact, I recommend watching those instead of SpongeBob and Patrick's Timeline Twist Up, because they do the whole revisiting the past thing better compared to SpongeBob and Patrick's Timeline Twist Up. So overall, I give this a 3 out of 10, and like I said before, it's a terrible episode. Heck, it's not only an insult to classic SpongeBob, it's a rehash of the season 7 episode, Back to the Past, which is a way better episode than this garbage. And that's the thing with modern SpongeBob. Whether it's episodes or movies, they just copy stuff they've done before and take away all the charms of what made it both good and enjoyable. One of the reasons why I'm done with modern SpongeBob at this point. This is why I'd rather stick to this is why I'd rather stick to watching Disney cartoons, because nothing nothing good will come out of modern SpongeBob. Nothing good will come out of Nickelodeon. I mean, Nickelodeon has went horribly downhill, and they just cancel great cartoons like Ninja Turtles and Harvey Beaks. But they just keep running SpongeBob, even though the crew don't have any original ideas at this point. No wonder Steven Hillenburg wanted to end the show after the first movie. Just a wasted opportunity, in my opinion. Well, that about wraps up my review. I'm BlueBook1928. Thank you for watching this review, and I'll see you next time.